This is your Daily 5 for Wednesday, October 8th, 2025. You may or may not be familiar with the genre that is specifically Troma films, but you have likely, even if you've never seen the movies, you have probably heard of the character, the Toxic Avenger, which, by almost any measure, is the most popular character and the most well-known pop culture-wise character that came out of the Troma film catalog. And if you've never watched The Toxic Avenger, the actual film, I'll warn you now, it's not a particularly good film. And so when there was an announcement made that it was going to be remade, I really didn't know what was going to happen with it. I certainly didn't expect it to be all that good because when you're remaking a movie like The Toxic Avenger, on paper, it seems like a movie that's worth remaking. We often say, bad movies or lesser movies should be remade, and the good movies should be left alone. So why would I say that a remake of The Toxic Avenger would probably not work? Well, it's because The Toxic Avenger exists in this strange space where its lack of quality does not diminish it. It somehow is a very entertaining and memorable film despite all of its flaws and its cheapness and the fact that it is goofy. As the day is long, it is one of the goofiest movies you could ever watch, but it has cemented this place in pop culture kind of acceptance. It just exists as a thing that almost no one would tell you to remake because you're not going to ever be able to reach it. And so going into the news about a remake, it just sounded like a doomed idea. And then some big names signed on, which seemed odd. I saw some trailers and some footage from it, which looked far better than I would have expected to. But then I kind of forgot about it because it couldn't secure any distribution. Well, it finally has and is now available to rent. And I've read such good things about it that I thought, okay, this is a movie Lando and I have to watch. It's either going to be a complete dumpster fire or we're going to have a blast with it. And I think all we were really hoping for going into it is that it would just be entertaining, even in the same kind of trashy way as the original. I don't think either of us expected to be so impressed with this movie that it is still stunning to me that this is a remake of The Toxic Avenger, because this remake is so much better in every way than the original was, while still fundamentally being more or less the same story, that it is truly astonishing. This movie has been criminally screwed by not getting distribution when it was first coming out. But at least it now is getting the recognition it deserves, because this movie is very good. It's very funny. It manages to capture all of the essence of what the Toxic Avenger is, but it's also a very sweet, sincere story about a stepfather trying to get closer to his stepson after the mother has died and they have a strained relationship. And that does not sound like something that belongs in the Toxic Avenger remake, and yet it works. Mostly because Peter Dinklage, as always, delivers an excellent performance. And even when he's not on screen, because in the Toxic Avenger suit, it's actually a completely different performer, but they worked on getting the kind of the actions and the emotions and everything of the performance as one thing, and it works very well. But it still has this heart of this man trying to be close to his stepson among corporate greed and buckets of blood and gore and really, really crass humor, as well as some very pointed social satire, I should say, some stuff that I was, again, not expecting. But in the end, Lando and I were both blown away by this movie. It really is so much better than you could possibly imagine. Again, as a remake of a Troma film, movies that aren't generally, by and large, known for their quality, to remake this movie, stick with the core elements, and elevate it this far is really just stunning. I mean, this is probably one of the biggest surprises in terms of what I expected and what was delivered. And Lando, I think, will echo these sentiments on Friday. This is such an impressive film in almost every respect that it really shocked us both. I have to say, I think that both of us were really just expecting kind of a popcorn throwaway fun time, but not to really be impressed by the movie the way that we were. So I would absolutely say, now you may not want to pay $20 to rent it right now, but when you get the opportunity to watch this, you should absolutely watch this, because it really is one of those movies that will surprise you in the most delightful way. So the Toxic Avenger remake, while I thought it had almost no shot of being good, well, it wasn't good. Turns out it's excellent. Later.